More Savinho rumours as Spurs continue to be linked with the Manchester City winger. Gallagher again linked with Spurs, but the deal will not be easy and Spurs would face competition from Manchester United. Thomas Frank speaks out after the dismal draw against Brentford. A TalkSport pundit asks for Spurs to bring in Enzo Maresca, while another report claims that Spurs want to bring back Mauricio Pochettino. And a journalist states that Spurs have no actual key target for this transfer window. Here are your daily Tottenham news headlines. Hello, welcome back to the channel. My name's Craig and here are your daily Tottenham news headlines, but I'll be going through all the latest news, rumours and reports. If you're watching on YouTube and are not already as yet subscribed to the channel, please consider doing so. Like, share and comment below. And if you're listening on an audio platform, please do hit that follow button and leave a review if you can. Okay, let's get into it. Give Me Sport report that Tottenham were prepared to pay more than £70 million to bring Brazil international Savinho in from the Etihad during last summer's transfer window, but the move was blocked by Manchester City CEO Ferran Soriano. Spurs would need to offer similar fee to £70 million, which was deemed attractive by City before they decided the player wasn't for sale again in mid-season to have any chance of entering negotiations to complete the transfer. According to Ben Jacobs, writing in his latest Give Me Sport newsletter, the North Londoners could test City's resolve again this month for a player who was keen on joining them just a few months ago. Spurs need an injection of quality and pace to offer something different in their attack when Johnson leaves, and Savinho would provide the answer as he loves to constantly run against and harass defenders. The 21-year-old is able to play on either flank. While he isn't just the finished product yet, Pep Guardiola has tipped him to go on to become a top-class player. After another unwatchable display against Brentford, Frank now faces a defining week which could impact his future as Tottenham manager. Currently lying in 12th position in the Premier League standing, Spurs host 7th place Sunderland at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium on Sunday before travelling to Bournemouth on Wednesday night. Those two league games are followed by a third-round FA Cup tie at home to high-flying Aston Villa as the North Londoners look to secure a win against Unai Emery's side in their bid to win a domestic trophy. Give Me Sport state that Manchester United are leading the Premier League race to sign Gallagher alongside Tottenham Hotspur, and that's according to Team Talk. Both United and Spurs are keen to strengthen their central midfield during January transfer window and have identified the Atletico Madrid star as a target. As well as United and Spurs, Newcastle, Everton and West Ham all have varying interest in signing the midfielder, although they are behind the aforementioned duo in the race as things stand. One of the main attractions for the Premier League clubs looking at Gallagher is that he's very keen on a move back to England. The Mail report that Thomas Frank responded to a chorus of boos from Tottenham Hotspur supporters after a goalless draw at Brentford, with a promise to make his team more fluent and more prolific. The Spurs boss accepted the dissent from the away end after the final whistle and asked them to appreciate the value of a clean sheet against the Bees, who have taken points from Aston Villa, Chelsea, Liverpool, Manchester United and Newcastle at the G-Tech Community Stadium and scored 4 on their previous outing against Bournemouth. Frank said they were not too satisfied, and it's fair when we don't hit that top performance overall, but I think it's double-sided because we need to acknowledge the defensive side of the game, which we have done excellent today against a team that scored 3 against Liverpool and Manchester United. If you as a team are not strong defensively, it's just impossible to compete over a long season. Impossible if you want to end in the nice position that you would like to end in. But of course, the offensive part needs to be better. There's no two ways about it. I'm very aware that we are not where I want us to be. Very aware. It's not that we don't want to play offensive or attacking football. We work very, very hard on that. But while you work hard on that, you can't, if you struggle scoring goals or creating enough chances, you can't open up too much, because then you need to score too many goals. It's a fine balance. Frank added, I would prefer if everyone was happy and we're winning 3-0. I'm confident I will make it fluent and better and scoring enough goals. He pointed to the limited time to work on offensive structure and missing key creative players, including Javi Simmons, who is serving a 3-match ban, and Lucas Bergvall, who was injured on Sunday at Crystal Palace. Brennan Johnson was also missing, having agreed a £35 million move to Crystal Palace. Frank said it's fair to say that Lucas and Javi will hopefully be back soon. Also, Dominic Solanke at some stage. He is out on the pitch and part training with the group. There's a possibility he could be back this month. And we are in the market looking to improve the squad, but the January window is difficult and we need to be calm. Football 365, meanwhile, report that former Tottenham midfielder Jamie O'Hara has revealed he would go and get former Chelsea boss Enzo Maresca right now if Spurs are able to. After 90 games in charge of Chelsea, Maresca parted company with the London club on the first day of 2026. The Italian had the Blues 5th in the Premier League and had won the UEFA Conference League and Club World Cup with them. For Maresca, there may not be an immediate move on the horizon, but if former Tottenham man O'Hara got his way, it would be Spurs he'd be landing at. O'Hara said on TalkSport, yes, I would have him, Maresca, at Tottenham. I think if we could go and get Enzo Maresca, I would go and get him right now. I think he's a good manager. It comes amid the perceived danger of the current Spurs boss, Thomas Frank, as a recent report has suggested the club are now worried he isn't the correct long-term fit for the board. Further to that, it's been suggested there are plans to bring Mauricio Pochettino back to Tottenham. And on transfers, journalist Dean Jones of Team Talk stated, I'm told Spurs are searching the market for a new left-sided defender, and I think it's something that we'll hear more about later in the window. At the moment, Spurs are looking for a market opportunity. I'm told they don't have a key target right now. They just believe it is somewhere they are potentially going to be caught short soon. I don't think there is an easy fix, and it will be interesting to see how desperate they become to fix it, or whether they are willing to try and see the season out if they don't find someone of the perfect profile. But Spurs do definitely want a player for the left side of defence, so are very much keeping an eye on the market in England as well as abroad to see if there is something suitable that crops up. Okay, here's my thoughts on those stories today. Savinho, again, we mentioned Savinho. I said this, Savinho is going to be mentioned every single day almost in some report somewhere. So I'm not going to go on too long about this. We've spoken about Savinho before. I think Savinho would be a really good addition to Tottenham. Obviously, we're interested, if you believe every report you read, we're interested in Savinho, in Marmoush, in Oscar Bob. We might as well just go and raid Manchester City of their whole front line. Do you know, why don't we throw Erling Haaland into the mix as well? But Savinho, look, seriously, Savinho would be a really good addition to Spurs. Be interesting to see if City would consider loaning him, or whether that would be a permanent transfer, or perhaps a loan with a obligation to buy. I don't know. But Savinho definitely would improve our front line. I think that's what it's all about. This transfer window is improving quickly and straight away. We can't be bringing in players that are going to take a while to bid in. We just haven't got the time. Thomas Frank hasn't got the time. Gallagher again mentioned wants to come back to the Premier League. Obviously, you can see the World Cup year. He's going to want a bit more exposure there. Wants to come back to the Premier League. So it looks like it's, I wouldn't say a straight race between Spurs and Manchester United. But Gallagher, for me, I wouldn't be too fussed if he didn't come, to be honest with you. A decent, solid player, without a doubt. And I suppose you have to ask yourself, is he better than what we've already got? Is he? I'll leave that one. I think that's subjective. I'll leave that one for you guys to work out yourselves. But Conor Gallagher, one thing about Conor Gallagher is, albeit he's a Chelsea fan, ex-Chelsea captain, of course, he does know the Premier League, and he would indeed hit the ground running, so he would certainly cover that base. That Brentford draw last night, absolutely dire again. And funnily enough, even the fans were singing about Eric Dyer, amongst other ex-players. I think that was just a shout to the board, basically saying that, look, this is what we used to have, and look at what we've got now. Yeah, it was pretty bad, wasn't it? Really bad. Just boring football, boring watching it. 3 defensive midfielders in the middle. You could argue that Thomas Frank didn't have much to pick from, but come on. you could just make a few more inroads up the pitch, surely. I mean, that was terrible again last night. But I'm not going to go on about that too much. We've all got our own opinions on that. You could argue 4 points from the last 2 games is not bad, Crystal Palace and Brentford, but then again, the style of football, horrendous, absolutely horrendous. And Brentford obviously scored, unlucky to have it ruled out, clearly was offside, but Brentford were the team that probably deserved the win, certainly more than Spurs in my opinion. Anyway, moving on, Maresca. Jamie O'Hara's asking for Spurs bringing Maresca. I don't see this one happening anytime soon. He's only just left Chelsea. We do seem to just pick up ex-Chelsea managers, don't we? I suppose that would be ironic, wouldn't it, if we went for a Maresca? But I can't see this happening. What I can see happening, it's just my opinion, Pochettino, but that wouldn't be till the summer. Are the board going to give Thomas Frank the time? Are they going to give him till the end of the season and then reassess? Or are they going to sack Thomas Frank soon if results don't improve, bring in an interim and then go for Pochettino in the summer? Or are they going to go, if they do sack him, are they going to go for another permanent manager? It's a bit of a mess at Spurs right now, isn't it? And the final report, of course, no key target for Spurs. It's more primarily about the left-hand side defensively. I would hope that this would be, they would have their targets for certainly up the pitch where we need arguably more reinforcements and strong reinforcements, but no key target, really? Come on, you've had months to sort this out. You must have your key targets. So is this just press talk, paper talk, or is this right? Are they only just going to look at opportunities for the left-hand side sort of fallback position? Find it a bit baffling if that is the case, because you think a club like Spurs would have their transfer targets. So perhaps it is press talk, but you never know with this club, do you? You just never know. But that's all from me today. Get down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts on all those stories today and how you're feeling as a Tottenham Hotspur fan right now. Stick with it, keep the faith, and come on, you Spurs.